forces, and it continues since that time in 1945 to defend our nation, our democracies and our freedom of speech. And that's in places like Korea, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Falklands and many, many more. And sadly, the world today, with what's going on in Ukraine and Russia and Israel and Gaza, whether you believe or not in the reasons for, the world is a dangerous place. And your armed forces, and I repeat, they are your armed forces, are deployed at this very moment. The Army are deployed across the eastern side of NATO, providing support to our colleagues as they look up towards Russian aggression. The RAF are operating out of Cyprus as well as home defence, and they're looking after everything for us at home, but also supporting Israel when they come under a barrage of missiles from a number of nations. And the Navy have been operating in the Red Sea, again preventing freedom of shipping, providing freedom of shipping, and supporting Israel again when they come under more missile attacks. And of course the Navy, for me as a Submariner, is also the provider of the absolute deterrence, the nuclear deterrence for this country. So in a few moments I'm going to read out a couple of poems. There'll be a cue to start a minute's silence, which I'd love if you all enjoy with. But we're a stock car community, and it's only right as we stop to remember the armed forces, that tonight we can also stop and remember those we've lost from our great family over the year. We've lost F1 drivers like Stu Heppenstall, 189, John Moggs, 350, Don Hadsley, number 50, Brian Wallace, 211, Mike Holt, 86, Jimmy McLean, number 44, Ian Daft, number 116, Bob Hall, number 380, 23, Gentleman John Lander, 402 and 44, Tin Man, who obviously did so much for the BSCDA and continued his legacy throughout his lifetime. Glenn Pridmore, number 300. Phil Bicknell, number 7. 213, Clive Moran. 86, Sean O'Brien. 18, Dave Clark. 381, Keith Liverick. 268, Jim Saunders. 328, Melvin Chaplin. But of course we're more than just a UK sport. We also operate out of the Netherlands, and they've lost 2 F1 drivers that I'm aware of. H48, Turbo Willie Nealing, and H100, Peter Petush. But we're bigger than just F1. And today we've got the F2 support on with us. And we've lost 188, Aaron Patch, who also raced F1s. 546, Maurice Moreau Brown. 703, Jim Barry, who also went on to promote crew. 503, Barry Baker, the Warsaw Charger, my own stepfather. 723, Alan Wodge Warrener, what a character he was in the 70s and 80s, and he also raced F1s under the 252. And ever so tragically, Northern Ireland 924, Jack Morrow, who lost his life in a road traffic accident at the age of just 17. But of course those drivers can't entertain us without their team members, without the supporting networks of people that help keep them on track. With weather conditions like they've seen in recent weeks, that's a monumental effort. But we've lost people like Brian Gilbank, former Willie Harrison mechanic, but also dad to Mark as he took up his career, and also proud granddad to Liam and Charlotte, who does a lot here. Dave Farmer, the long-term number 53 sponsor. Brian Arnott, who's a mechanic for 59 Foster Watson, and Alf Mahler, dad of 183 Paul. But as you see from behind us, we need marshals to race, and we've lost people like Brian Portsmouth, who's a Hensford Hills scrutineer, John Farrow, for those who have ever been over to Skegness and everything Marion did with the 2-litre saloons, so we lost John. Claymo Afnik, who is a Dutch photographer but did a lot with the Acon organisation. Brian Beat, who was a starter but also a one-time racer. And Eddie Kalita, Skegness Marshal, and of course father to Richard and Helen, who did so much again in our sport. And we're going with more than just that though, because we are a family that come to this racing and we enjoy it and we all get to know each other. And some of the fans we've lost over this last year: Gerald Cole, Stan Chadbourne, Marie Davis, his wife of 327 Howard, Gerald Hoggy Hogger, Deb Flanagan, wife of Anthony, ex-F1 racer and BSCDA personnel, Anne Squire, Shona Fortune, who's a Scottish F2 fan, but also set up the Over the Border trophy. And ever so tragically, just recently, Kay Fitton, wife to Neil, and our racing, and a character been around the sport for years. So what's going to happen now is I'm just going to read you two short poems. The last line of the second one is "We remember them." That will lead us into 1 minute silence, and then AJ's got some music that will break that minute silence at the end. So thank you very much for listening. When you go home, tell them of us and say, "For your tomorrow, we gave our today. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them." Thank you very much.
Thanks again, David, and thank you everybody for that absolutely fantastic